To use EasyCBM as a progress monitoring tool, you first must register for a teacher account if you don't already have one. It's really easy and it's free. You just click sign up now and it'll prompt you to enter all of your information. Once you've done that, you can just click log in, enter your username and password that you've created and click sign in. And then you'll get to the main screen here where all of the areas that you can use for progress monitoring are. Now certain things like interventions and such, some of that cannot be used with the EasyCBM Lite, which is the free, you have to pay for that. But to start with, when you get started after you've created your account, you first have to set up your students. So you click on the Students tab, or you can click up here as well. Click on Students, and this is where you're going to add your students. So you can click the plus, and you can add their student ID or just their first and last name, select their grade, and all the other information you don't need to include. That's optional. And then you just click Create, and your student will appear in this list. If you create a student and you don't need them, you can just click on this trash can, or you can edit student information by the pencil. So once all of your students are added, you want to create your groups. And you can do this in a variety of ways. You can do it by your classes. You can do it by progress monitoring goals. I know I always created a reading progress monitoring and a math progress monitoring group. And that way all my students that had reading comprehension goals I could add here, and all my students for math goals I could add here. So once you've added any groups that you want to create, again, you can delete a group by just clicking that sign, and yes, I want to delete that. Or you can edit the name of the group by clicking the blue pencil. So now you need to add your students to that group, and that's really easy. You just put a check mark by their name, and the way you can tell they're added to the group is you can see if they highlight black next to the group name, then that means they're added to that group. So like you can see Math Progress Monitoring, my first test student is not added to that group, but test student 2 is. My Reading Progress Monitoring, they're both black, they're both checked, so they're added to that group. So now once you've done all of that, and I will tell you if you get stuck, there's a lot of great help options. It's very user friendly, so you can always follow the help options in this black box if anything you're stuck on. But once you've created your groups and your students, now you're ready to assign measures. So you can either go back to your dashboard and click on measures here, or you can use the top measures as well. So click on measures, and when you come up to measures, this is really important. You're going to see your website here, and this would be important. I would save this in your, wherever you have all of your passwords saved, because this is the website you're going to push out to your students. This is where they're going to access any online progress monitoring that you assign them in EasyCBM. So how they enter, you're just going to assign them this website, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. But make sure you have that saved somewhere, and you can always log into EasyCBM, click on measures, and get that as well. So to assign the probes, you just choose your grade level. It does go only from K through 8, so you would only be able to progress monitor goals that fall within those levels, but you're going to select your grade, and you can see here it does cover reading and math. It does cover reading fluency, passage reading fluency, and then reading comprehension. Now obviously the word reading and the passage reading fluency, those cannot be taken online. But it does provide you can see the student copy and then the PDF of your teacher copy as well on how to score it. And then you can manually enter the scores there as well to keep track. You can also just enter the scores into wherever you're keeping the data. But it's nice to have it all in one report. So if you do choose an online probe, and I love EasyCBM for reading comprehension the most, and I'll explain why. So they are all available online. So again, you just choose your grade level, select the story. Sometimes it's good to go in order so you don't forget which ones have been assigned. If you want to preview what it looks like, you can see what the students would look like. You can even change the font size. The students can do that. But this is the story, and then you can see at the end they'll be prompted with questions, and you can click next. So if you wanted to preview and see what that looked like, you would be able to do that. So once you find the test that you want the student to take online, Again, if you want them to do it not online, you can provide them a copy, but obviously the convenience is online. So you just check Take Online, and then you choose the group or groups that you want to assign this probe to. So I'm going to assign it to my reading comprehension group. I always kept the detailed scoring selected. And then once you check it, you don't need to hit save or anything. It's there. So now your students can access that probe. So to do that, they just click on this website. And the students, when you give them this website, they'll get this screen. This is what the students will see. So you need to prompt them to tell them what group to select, because all the groups that you have signed. So you'll need to tell them to select their group. So in this case, we said reading comprehension. Then they'll need to select their name and then select the probe that you're giving. So make sure that you give them the name of the reading comprehension probe so that they know which one to take. Then they just click Take Test, and the test will pop up for them to take. It's really user-friendly. Like I said, it's really easy for the students. They can log into your room, and if they don't show up, you can send them this website and just go through the prompts and tell them how to complete that. Once they've all completed the progress monitoring, you can pull a report to get their scores if they've taken it online. You just click on Reports, or you can go to Dashboard and click on Reports, and you'll get an Excel document for each of your groups, and it will continually keep adding all of the probes that you give them. So you can click Export CSV, and now mine are test students, so no scores are going to show, but I can just click Open, and my Excel document's going to show, and you can see here at the top, this is how you know how many questions that test has. The reading comprehension, at least I know in the 3rd grade level, always had 20 questions. And then here it would list their score. You can see here this student didn't finish, so they have a 0. If they had finished, this wouldn't be here, and it might say like 15. So that's great data that you know they scored 15 out of 20 correct on this probe. And you can, again, you can sign below grade level probes. It's up to you. It's very flexible in the probes that you give. And you can save that Excel sheet as your data as well. Now, you can use this for math as well. I did find it a little harder to use for math because there isn't a way to pick out specific questions that might tie in with those specific students' math goals. But they do have math areas like in number and operations, geometry, and math, numerical operations, and algebra. And again, you can preview. If it says Take Online, you do it the same way as the reading comprehension. Click Take Online and assign that probe. But again, it does give a broad range of questions in each of these areas. So for example, in number and operations, this is a 3rd grade level, I could either preview or I could pull up the student copy just to see the questions. And see, it does give a wide variety of questions. So some may and some may not tie in with their goals. So that's the only issue that I had sometimes with assigning these probes. But it's also a great way to see, to push out in the beginning to see which areas that they are struggling. So this might be good to use for your small groups so that you can know what areas you need to focus and guide your lessons and interventions on. So that's Easy CBM. Like I said, it's very user-friendly. It's great because the students can take most of the probes online and it scores it for you. There is another option as well, as I had said in the beginning, to do interventions. But again, you need a free account. So if you do want to pay for that, you're welcome to. I've never personally used the upgraded account. I just used it for the progress monitoring. But it is available to assign interventions in that way as well. So if you have any questions, this is Becky Moody. So just feel free to email me at bmoody@k12.com, and I will be happy to help you.